During my travels to Japan, I joined a Sunrise Tours Motorcoach Excursion that was billed as a Mt Fuji and Hakone tour. It was a full-day tour. We met at the Keio Plaza Hotel in the Shinjuku Ward of Tokyo. The bus left about 8:25 in the morning and drove for 150 minutes on the expressway. We had an English-speaking guide who shared information on Mount Fuji's mythology and history. Our first stop was at the Fujisan World Heritage Center. It served as a quick rest stop with an obstructed view of Mount Fuji. It was very, very windy out that day and much colder than Tokyo. I was glad I brought a jacket, but actually wished I would have brought something even warmer. We only stayed long enough to use the restrooms and snap a few pictures. We boarded the bus again and headed up Mount Fuji. It was a very winding road, which gave me some motion sickness. I was happy when we finally reached our destination at the 5th station, which is the highest station in Mount Fuji. We had traveled quite high up and had some beautiful views of the entire area. However, the wind was so severe it could almost push you over. I was intent on getting some pictures, so took some time to hike up to a small temple that had views on the other side of the mountain. I was able to get some pictures of the mountain and the valley below. I noticed most of the other passengers were taking refuge in the buildings, which included a cafe and souvenir shop. Several of the passengers did not bring jackets and were very cold. It might have been advisable for the tour company to clarify that in their communications. Once again, they gave us time here to use the facilities and take pictures. I was a little disappointed that this was the vantage point to take photographs of Mount Fuji. I kept looking for the money shot, but there was always an obstruction. At this point, I hoped that there would be a better photo opportunity later in the day. We then drove to another location to have lunch in a banquet hall. It was quite a tasty lunch of Japanese fare. They surprised us with a performance by some Japanese drummers. It was a quick but satisfying meal and entertainment. We were off again and were told that they had to adapt the schedule. We were supposed to take the Hakone Komagatake Ropeway, but because of the high winds, we would be taken to another ropeway. We took a cable car up to the top of a hill that overlooks some volcanic activity, with smoldering sulfur steaming from the activity below the surface. Evidently, there had been an eruption in 2015. It had a powerful sulfur smell that made you want to retreat pretty quickly. Again, the winds were incredibly high, so everyone snapped a quick picture and retreated to the souvenir shop. The bus then took us to the boat cruise on Lake Ashi. We had to wait outside for about 20 minutes, and I felt sorry for those that did not have jackets because it was very cold. We boarded the ferry and were treated with these views of the lake. After taking some quick pictures out on the deck, I settled inside. It seemed by the time I took my shoes off, we were already to the other side of the lake. We were told it was a 20-minute boat ride, but it seemed even shorter than that. Once on shore, we were given more time at the souvenir shop before we had to board the bus. This was about the 5th souvenir shop of the day. We then boarded the bus, which took us to the train station. We were given tickets to the Shinsanken, or bullet train, which took us to Tokyo Station. After that, we were on our own to find our way to our various hotels, although they were available to help us navigate our way through the train station. I completed this trip and felt a bit disappointed. When looking back on it, I assume it was probably the weather that soured my experience. It was just hard to enjoy the scenery when you were battling the winds. I guess my biggest disappointment was I had an expectation of the bus taking us to a place where we would have beautiful views of Mount Fuji, but that never happened. The best photo I took of the mountain was from the bus window on the expressway. On the other hand, we were able to climb very high up the mountain to see some beautiful views of the entire area, so it was nice to see parts of Japan from that high perspective. Overall, I am happy I went, but I wonder if taking the Fujisan View Express train from Tokyo would have been a better and cheaper option. For senior and solo travelers, this was an easy excursion. There was only moderate walking required. I would advise anyone going on this excursion to pack a warm jacket, though. Please look for my other Japan videos. I have left links in the description below. And if you'd like to follow more of my senior and solo travels, please like and subscribe. Cheers!